Eyes.
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 Eyes. Eyes. Mhm.
Mm.
Mm.
Is it a red flag that we're matching?
It is giving married couple, but it's fine.
Would you match with your boo?
Ah, maybe in 30 years
I like a subtle match.
in the same play, like costumed, like
Yeah, yeah.
complementary
Like,
colors.
you see how Chanel was wearing yellow and then Toby was wearing yellow shoes?
Yes.
I thought that was really cute.
Yes, because it's not too much.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like t-shirts that
It's
like
not school uniform.
yeah.
And is it a red flag that you need us to know that's your man? You're like, ladies, do you see our matching
Well,
pattern? Stay away.
well.
It's smart.
Hey, y'all.
Everyone, thank y'all for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing.
Mm.
Listen, we know we said the bar was low and we weren't trying to be the best podcasters.
Yeah.
But now we want money. So we've changed our path and we would like you to hit like and subscribe so that we can go and ask people to sponsor this
For funds.
because nobody told me how expensive podcasting was. And so, you know, we're not asking for money. We're just asking for a like
Yeah.
and a subscribe. Okay. Share our stories, share a laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Save somebody from a red flag.
Come on. Because it's out here. It's an epidemic.
It's an epidemic. And that brings me to my next point.
Oof.
Your red flag.
Mm.
It's not my red flag. Ooh, that transition was smooth. I should have just continued.
Yeah.
Your red flag
Yes.
is not my red flag.
Mhm.
And my red flag is not your red flag.
Talk about it.
And our red flag, not their red flag.
Yes.
And so this is when we come to York's flagometer,
Mhm.
where York gives us a range because how red is red?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
should you avoid, should you not?
It's variations.
There's variations. Not all red flags are made equal.
That's right. That's
So
right.
York is going to give us two examples. One is like on the 1 or the pink,
Yeah.
and give us a 10 or
Yeah.
a red.
That's right. This week, the pink flag is a salmon
Oh, yes.
for
very.
spring.
Salmon before I cook it or after?
Interesting. Now, depending on, is this farm raised?
Oh,
because from the ocean is a little more red.
okay.
We're gonna go we're gonna go farm raised cooked.
Okay, love it.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Mm.
Yes.
Got to be clear.
Okay. The salmon flag is you've been on 2 dates with this young man.
Okay.
And every time he's had dry, cracked hands. Now, this is not eczema. This is not a skin condition. This is just
I like that you're not trying to get canceled by the eczema community.
listen, because I'm not coming for anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
This
I have
is-
eczema, so
this
don't
is-
worry, I'm
this-
not offended.
It's not a skin condition. This is just lack of lotion. It's a lack of attention to detail. You've been on 2 dates. The first time, like,
Yeah.
the creases
Yeah.
just webbed and dry
Yeah.
in between. Is it, in your opinion, is that a pink flag? To me, it's a pink flag.
It's just an ick.
Yeah.
But what is it saying?
It's like
Brett
I always
from
say.
Love is Blind has some dry ass hands, and I love him. I would just be like, "Hey, friend, I got you a gift, lotion."
But the thing is, you only feel that way because you've seen him several episodes and then noticed
I
on
see. The
episode 6, 7.
Okay, got it.
You've been
Second
on 2
date.
dates with this young man. First date, you noticed it and you said it's fine, but you had a good time. The second date, also coming back.
You know what would be worse for me, which Brett also has, is the fingernails, long fingernails.
Okay.
That's even worse.
Yes.
That's going to farm raised pre-cooked. But okay, I think it's a good pink flag. I'll notice it. I'm not gonna do anything just yet.
Yes. Because to me, again, it indicates a possibility of something else going on.
What?
For me, listen, and we might be getting a little too deep too early.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is what comes up.
I don't know where he's going with this. Okay.
For me, if you show up to 2 dates with dry, cracked hands, I'm not eating ass. I know for a fact there will be no ass eating.
Can you help me connect the two?
Because
You
if you
jumped.
don't have, no, it's not a jump. It's a
Okay.
slight step.
Okay.
You didn't have the wherewithal to put on lotion. I cannot trust that you have washed your ass well enough.
No.
For me. Nope. No.
Listen, I
No.
think you're
Nope.
jumping.
I'm
You're
not.
jumping ship.
I'm not.
Washing can actually cause dry. It's about a lotioning.
Yes.
Yeah. So
But
he may
that-
love to wash his hands very much, just as much as he likes to wash his bums.
No. But see, to me, that is a jump.
Okay.
That is me connecting washing hands. Because now you're making excuses for why this man's hands are dry or why he ain't got no lotion.
You know I'm good for making excuses. I think my judge would be if I'm like, I make a little ashy joke. And the next time you still have dry hands,
Right.
I might have an issue with that.
Yes, because I'm like, it's attention to detail, and from what I hear through the grapevine, especially straight men, you can't trust that they're washing their ass.
You can't.
So to me, if you know,
washing their hands. You don't even have to go far.
also that. So, and it's a generalization to say that people that don't pay attention to their.
But I heard it's not just straight men. I heard the men from your community
It's
also.
also the gays.
Yeah. I
It's
just think
also the
men.
gays. So and the type.
Also, I heard women from my waxing lady. If we add it, like, let's just throw everyone under the fucking bus. Y'all need to start washing your bum, okay? I just feel like
Why are you going to get a wax with a dirty ass?
I won't put her on blast. I was asking her about all the crazy things, and people just be. First of all, she loves me because I come fresh. I even do a special shower for her.
Same.
Shout out to Tanya.
Yeah.
We
We love to. We have the same
yeah,
wax
we have
lady.
the same wax lady.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know, she told me I have a perfect coochie. And I don't know if she says it to everyone, but I have felt superior since that day. And I tip her way more than I should because in my mind, I'm like, you think I have she's like, a perfect little vagina, is what she said.
She has not said similar things to me. So clearly,
You don't have a vagina.
but the ass is not the asshole. Clearly, is. We are getting way too personal right now.
Okay.
Anywho, that was the pink.
I think we just displayed some red flagism. Okay. Yeah. Well, now
Pink
you know about me.
That's the pink flag. The red flag
Yeah.
is a ladybug red. You know,
Oh, I used to be obsessed with ladybugs.
apparently they bite.
Okay.
I've heard that. I've never personally been bitten
okay.
by a ladybug, but
Apparently cockroaches bite too.
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, you. So you've met this young man. He's an associate of a friend.
Okay.
So not a friend of a friend, an associate of a friend.
Okay. Is it a friend I trust?
It's a friend you trust.
Okay.
But they don't know them very well. They're like kind of like a work colleague or something like that.
Lordy.
So you've hung out with them maybe twice. Once was in a group.
Okay.
So the second time you're hanging out with them and you happen to go back to their house. And it's a good time, you're laughing, and they lose their phone. So you're like, oh, I'll call it. You call it and it's under the couch. So you go under the couch. You pick up the phone and it has he has you saved as wifey with several hearts.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else. I thought you were going to talk about the dirt that's under the couch.
That's a separate thing.
Okay. So he has me saved as wifey.
Wifey with several hearts.
And we met twice?
This is your second date. The first one was with a group.
Ha. How do I feel about him? Because you know I'm good for calling you after a first date to be like, I met my husband. Did I say I met my husband? Even though I no longer do that. Like, we have grown. I'm like, he might, the same way we say pop-up podcast, we might be here. That's where I am in my dating. He may be here.
You've had fun.
I would not like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I would not like that, and it would scare me, and it gives me love bombing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good red flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be certainly be a red flag for
Yeah.
me. I got to get out the house.
Okay. This is the part where I share a red flag from my personal life, and York grades it in the scheme of this little flagometer. So I don't know how I met this man, but I met him, and he started asking me about my dreams, which is like always a green flag for me.
Your dreams, as in sleeping
Yeah.
at night, or goals and
No.
aspirations?
Aspirations.
Listen, a nigga asked you about your dreams and crystals and shit. It's not far fetched. I just want
Yeah,
clarity.
especially in LA.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah.
Okay. Don't, yeah. LA is its own red
lot.
flag. LA as a city for dating, red flag.
Yeah.
Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Woo. Import your lover. So he started asking me about like my dreams and ambitions, and this was like pre shit popping off. So all I had was a dream and an ambition and lived. And he's like asking me about like my art, and like that's something that I've noticed. I ask a lot of questions, but it's very rare that I'm on a date where someone asks me a lot of questions.
Interesting.
And so for me, that's always been a green flag. Like if you actually ask me like real questions, none what's your favorite color, like actually curious.
Yeah.
This man was very curious about me. And I was
Okay.
like, oh, okay. He asked me about my dreams, and he was even asking me about like planning, like very career. And I love my career. So like you asked me about my career is a big turn on for me.
Yeah.
Asked me on a date. I'm like, great. He's like, do you want me to pick you up? I was like, no, I'll meet you there. He's like, no, let me pick you up. And at that time, I don't know why I said yes to that, because that's something I'm not usually comfortable with. I like to go on my own.
Oh.
But I think I was just like, okay, pick me up. So he comes. And at that time, I lived deep in the valley. I was in Woodland Hills. Drove all the way to Woodland Hills. Took me to this place in Hollywood. I'll never forget. It's on that street of Beauty in Essex. So
Cahuenga.
is it?
Is that Cahuenga?
I
Maybe
don't know.
not. Nah,
Anyway,
it's
nice places. We walk in, beautiful thing. Someone greets him. They know him. Okay. And then they're like, all right, we should go to the back. And I'm like, the back? Another person comes, they know him. I'm going to call him Murphy for the sake of this.
okay.
Murphy, why so many people know you on our date? Then we go to the back. Bruh, do you know this dream vacation Ponzi scheme? Okay? He took me to a Ponzi scheme meeting.
What?
He took me to a Ponzi scheme meeting in Hollywood. On a date? It wasn't a fucking date. This nigga was crying. I was so... And you know the thing is with me, at that time, it was like my first year in LA. So I was very young and naive. So it took me a good 10 minutes to realize I'm in a fucking Ponzi scheme meeting. So, because I'm like, how do these people know you? These people know you. Now there's presentations of dream. Do you know what dream vacation is? Do you know what it is?
I don't know.
Have you seen these people say, I was here? I'm sorry if you're part of it. You're part of a Ponzi scheme.
Oh, God.
So you go on these vacations, but you have to sell to people and whatever.
It's like timeshares?
Not timeshares, like you get a certain amount of vacations, and so I have to recruit you to go recruit someone else. So I was being recruited for him.
For the pyramid scheme, yeah.
And then he's like, not even a little wink, like, got you, like. And I'm like sitting there, and it's all black people, which is like a false sense of security for me.
Yeah.
Because when I see black people, I'm like, nothing can happen to me. And so I'm like, what? So then I'm sitting there in this thing and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a Ponzi scheme. I'm in a Ponzi scheme. And I have to drive back home with this person.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
he
yeah,
picked you
because he
up.
picked me up. And I was in the valley. So
Jesus.
at that time, Uber wasn't really that big like my first year in LA. Like it was there, but it was very expensive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's
And
far.
it's far. It was far where
Yeah.
I stayed. So he's like, so what do you think? I was like, what do I think about what? I was like, this is a Ponzi scheme. He's like, no, it's not a Ponzi scheme. And you were telling me about your ambitions and your dreams. This man been setting me up, okay? So
Where did you meet?
I think we met at one of those like acting, those
Like mixers.
not even a mixer. It's like where you take those classes, which is also a
Oh.
scam. I met him at a scam because those like casting directors who used to
Yeah.
throw those workshops,
Yeah.
and so you're told like, oh, go and perform. Anyway, long story short, I was very vulnerable.
Wow.
This is when I pretend I'm from
That's
Africa.
actually
This is where I pretend that it's about cultural stuff when it's not. I was just a young girl from Africa.
that's a great place to like actors are like perfect for that.
Yes.
Perfect for that.
So I don't even know, like, cause I don't even know why I'm asking if it was a red flag. He didn't want to date me.
It's a blatant red, but it's disrespectful because you took me on a date, air quotes, under the false pretenses.
Yeah. Very big air quotes. What if that man but he's like, okay, but I still want to date you.
No.
Yeah, red flag.
Door has closed because you missed your opportunity. Because what you could have did is took me on a date and like soft launched this thing that you're a part of.
You know what? You could have taken me on a date and pitched me the Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Don't throw me into the Ponzi scheme.
That was rude.
Yeah.
It was disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually bumped into him
Recently?
at first. Let me not say it. I bumped into. I was like, "This the nigga that took me to a Ponzi scheme date." Good Lord, sending strength.
You look like he was thriving.
I actually asked him, "How's you know me? If y'all don't know me, I love an awkward moment." I was like, "So how's the dream vacation stuff going?" He's like, "Ah, man, I'm not really like focused on that." Like, but he had another thing. That's
Yeah.
Let's go to that as a red flag.
Yeah.
People who are always jumping on things like, "Oh no, I'm focused on this thing."
The seeker.
The seeker.
As my friend would say, the seeker.
I'm now a rapper. Oh, actually, I'm a DJ. And I'm a multi-hyphenate and I do plenty things. But there's
Yeah.
it's the obsession of like hyper-focus. Look at us. I'm a podcaster. You know what I mean? No, but you know what I mean? Okay, it would be like us saying now we're only podcasters. We're not going to be working in writers' rooms.
Yeah.
That kind of like thing is actually a red flag to me.
Yeah. I've known people that's like, I'm a chef and I'm also going to be a veterinarian. I go to school at night. And I'm also going to do a podcast and I'm also a singer. And so I have my album coming out and it's like, but
Yeah.
where
I'm okay with that if you're trying to do many things. For me, it's when you like hyper focus on everything.
See, both bother me.
Why?
Because veterinarian, singer.
But are they passionate?
Kimmy.
Okay, you're been knowing me too much.
Kimmy.
He's like, you lying to these people.
Somebody says to you they're a veterinarian and a chef and a singer.
If they're focused, yeah.
There ain't enough focus in the world.
Yeah. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Just
Or people were like, and now I'm doing the artist way, and like my life has changed, and now I'm Buddhist, and now I am like.
also I have been guilty of this. I've done the artist way for a
No,
good week.
you did the artist way, but you were not obsessive. For me, there's one thing to be like, oh, I'm open to all these different things. Let me go to vet school. Let me do that. But it's the person who thinks they found the answer in this thing for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they move on. Honestly, a lot of our family members are like that. If we ask ourselves, there's always someone in the family who's like, and now I sell cars. and now I sell solar panels. And it's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Something I've been thinking about, which you've mentioned a couple times, is like the difference between icks and red flags.
Yeah.
And like, I'm curious about like what are some icks that you have that aren't red flags? And are there like icks that you can look past to and
Wait.
actually pursue a relationship?
Ooh, where does one start? I'm someone with a lot of icks.
What does ick mean to you? Firstly,
It
let's define it.
means something that is turning me off at a level that I can't logically explain. And I wish I could.
Uh-huh.
And if I explain it to you, you'll
Yeah.
think it's petty. But the experience of it, you
In-
as in my lover,
Yeah.
but the experience of it is so intense
Yeah. In your body.
in my body.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
triggers my nervous system. And I got to go.
That's a good definition.
Yeah.
Because
I
that's
had a therapist who said it's all information.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She's still missing. We have a therapist that's missing. So if you're listening to this by any chance, please let us know you're okay. Honestly, it was very traumatizing. And one day we'll talk about red flags in a therapist.
Oh God.
One who goes missing is it. Okay. But luckily I have a wonderful new therapist.
Ooh.
I'm like, first of all, you helped me. You helped me with my abandonment issues just to abandon me. It just feels sick.
I think I don't think it was intentional. Unfortunately, I don't think she's in this plane anymore.
There was a time I was looking for obituaries every week and I had to let it go because it was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Shame. Anyway, but she said it was all information. That was information for sure when she just stopped showing up.
Anywho, icks. Back to icks.
Yes.
I for me, whew, an ick that I can't get past. Loud people.
Oh,
Loud
God.
people bother me. If y'all don't know by now, I like peace. I like quiet. I like to come home to silence, and I don't mind a nice conversation. I don't mind
Yeah.
people. I can do all of that, but I recharge in
Yeah.
silence and peace.
Yeah.
And there have been people that I've interacted with that will be at this distance and will be screaming at the top of their lungs to talk to you.
I would say that's a red flag.
It sends me.
Because why? For me, it's like you're performing. Why do you need everyone around this restaurant to know what we're talking about?
But this is the thing. It'll be just the two of us
Oh, in the house.
in the house
Oh, Lord.
hollering. Why are you hollering? Why are you so loud?
I don't like loud.
Why?
I
We're right
don't
here. I can
like-
hear you, and you can hear me.
Yeah.
I could even go quieter. You can still hear me.
Yeah.
Why are you hollering? It bothers
Wow.
me.
This
It's
really-
such a deep.
Yeah.
I think it's because I don't understand it.
And I think there's a place to be loud. Like, I can be loud sometimes.
I can be
but
loud too.
There's a place and time.
And time.
I just don't like when it becomes obnoxious.
Yes. And if it's your default,
If it's your default, exactly.
that bothers me.
Me, it's mouth noises.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
fucking hate mouth noises. And there's a term, misophonia. Like, I
Oh.
don't like, and apparently it's people who are like very sensitive and empaths, like we're more likely to have it. People chewing
Yeah.
loudly or with their mouth open.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Something that I struggle with is snoring, but I can move past it.
Same.
Yeah, but I really struggle.
I
There was
can-
one man who sounded like a generator, and I was just like, wow, I'm never going to sleep again.
Yeah.
But I moved past it.
Yeah, I can move past it if I love you.
Yeah.
Another ick for me is the extreme spirituality, whether that's Buddhist, spiritual, Christian,
Yeah.
the extreme. We can't have a conversation without you throwing Jesus, Mars, the universe, somebody's sign into the conversation. Or if I can't have a conversation with you without me being lost and confused because you way up here talking like you looking down at the rest of us, I don't have it.
You also don't like small hands. No, I was I was supposed to talk about my
There are some things. Listen, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to cancel my. Listen, let me live in my truth.
yeah.
The reason I don't like small hands. We should talk about toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Because I think
That's your red flag?
that could be one of my red flags. There are certain aspects of like toxic masculinity that I like lean into, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's fine. And then others, I'm like,
Yeah.
And small hands is no indication of a person's worth, how good of a human they will be, but it's not so much that I dislike small hands, but that I love large hands.
Okay.
It makes me feel safe.
This brings me to my next point, because I think maybe your mind is connecting the two.
Okay.
What is a red flag the first time you have sex with someone?
Ooh.
Because I think the small hands may have. Your mind might be connecting
Small hands to
the
an
bedroom.
appendage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's a red flag for you first time
flag.
you have sex? And sex can be anything. It doesn't have to be penetrative.
A red flag. I got two that just came
Come flowing.
onto my spirit.
Mm.
The first one is like silence.
Ooh, we talked about this. Y'all who don't make noise in the bedroom, breathe heavier.
Do something, Jesus.
It cannot, otherwise I may as well be masturbating because it feels like I'm alone.
I may as well be alone. And I make noise on my own. I make noise
That's
on
how
my own.
much I know I like noise.
Because can't nobody do me like I do me. So it's not silence.
Sometimes
when
I make noise to trigger.
And don't let the video don't let the young man in the video be verbal.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's
Do you need visuals to masturbate?
I don't need them per se, but I can't remember the last time I didn't have them.
A friend laughed at me because I'm purely imagination.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
That feels very wholesome.
Purely in my mind. I create all sorts of things in my mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
It feels. One time, red flag, I was in a relationship and I used someone else.
Oh.
And a part of me is like, is this cheating? Do you think that's cheating? Yes,
it might be cheating in your heart.
Would it bother you if your man was?
Absolutely.
But what's the difference with porn? It's still someone else.
Is it someone else, someone you know, or is it Michael B. Jordan?
Who was I using? Someone I know.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're using, because I don't know, if I'm in a relationship, I'm looking at porn, it's sex workers. It's not anybody that I'm not revisiting old nudes from old.
So that's red flaggish behavior on my part. I think it is. I would say it is.
I would think so.
I'm here to admit my fault.
Yeah, listen. Yeah.
Have you ever had sex and imagined someone else?
Have I ever had sex? I don't think so. I have had the impulse when it's not connecting. But usually if I'm in a relationship with you, I'm good.
Yeah, I've done it once.
Yeah,
Yeah, I needed it once, and it helped both parties. Honestly, both parties benefited from it. They'll never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. We've,
Did you answer the question
what was the question?
about what's a red flag in the bedroom?
Yeah, I said silence.
The
Oh,
second one.
the other one is treating. This is the first time.
Yeah, the first time.
Treating me like we are on doing some Twitter porn. Listen. Let me, young man.
Director draft.
Don't on the first time we don't know each other enough for you to be you flipping up top of it. We take it slow. I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive. I want to feel like I'm being loved. Don't be treating me, calling me all dirty whore, bitch. It's too much for me. Too much like. And if that's what you need to get what you need, let's have a conversation about it afterwards. First, let's find a middle ground.
Yeah.
The first time, let's find a nice, easy middle ground where everybody is happy, everybody's satisfied.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about what you need or don't need if we're going to have a second time, because we may not have a second time, but if we were to, let's have a conversation afterwards. Don't do too much on the first time.
Speaking of my old therapist, I remember one time I was telling her about a situation, and she was like, "Oh, he sounds like he watches too much porn." And at the time I was like, "Huh?" And she's like, "Yeah, he sounds like he watches too much porn because of that disconnect that he's having in sex." And so for me, it's less about like how comfortable you're feeling. It's like, it's not even comfort. It actually is displaying that you're not comfortable. It's there's a disconnect happening, and you're somewhere else.
It's interesting because I think this also depends on what you're going into the sexual experience with and like what your expectations are. Because I think some people are just looking to get off, and then it's just like, this is a one night thing. I think the context is important.
Yeah.
And the context that I'm talking about is like, we're dating, there's potential for something further. And so we're getting to know each other's bodies in a sexual way. But I do think that if it's just a hookup, then it's like, oh, then do whatever nasty freaky shit you want to do and see if you want to continue doing it.
You mentioned something about a conversation, and I want to ask you something that I think has been interesting conversations I've been having lately. So like with the whole Me Too, consent, and all that conversation, there's been a lot of talk with, I'll say a lot of my female friends, where some men are listening, taking notes, and like having a lot of conversation. And actually, I even think like I had a conversation with a friend of mine that is Black gay man, where he he dates a lot of white men. And so there's a lot of conversation in that as well about like consent and all that.
Okay.
And a lot of people are saying like, yes, these conversations are great, but there's also like spontaneity now that is missing. Because when you're talking about like, oh, let's have a conversation after, in my mind, I'm like, oh, you could have a conversation before. But sometimes those conversations before, they do sometimes like remove a bit of the like spontaneous and us listening to our bodies. And like, it's something I haven't figured out for myself.
Yeah.
So where do you feel on that like consent stroke? Because look, I'm not someone where it's like at every step, can I touch your bum? Like, I'm not like, you know, and like, at the same time, if I was with a man who did that, I would so understand where that's coming from.
Yeah.
And I would even be like emotionally turned on.
But yeah.
But a lot of my like sexual desire wouldn't.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to like understand like where it's like.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it's about having this is somewhere that something that I struggle with or have struggled with. It's like in situations where the person is starting to get a little wild, or like it's like your expectation for what was going to happen is different than what's actually happening. In the past, I have struggled with like speaking up, and that's the thing that I think is important in terms of like consent. It's like if something is happening that you're like, wait a minute, this. It's like you're not in danger, but it's like I don't particularly enjoy this. I can't breathe, brother. Release your choke. It's more the idea of the choke than restricting airways. And you don't want to.
Choking is really where it comes in.
Yeah.
Because y'all who choke, it's a suggestion. It's not a follow through.
Yeah. Just an indication of that. Just a slight pressure to indicate.
It's
little power and control.
It's
a taste.
Not the full menu.
Not the full menu.
Yeah.
We don't need steak here. We just give me an appetizer.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think
there was a time
You about to lie?
See, it's a Sunday. God said no. God said pull up. Don't lie on my day. Okay, let's keep it moving.
I think it's about being able to speak up when you're in uncomfortable.
Which is very hard.
It's very hard because you don't want to fuck up the vibe. You don't want their
especially if you don't feel in danger, and if you do trust the person,
right?
It's hard, and this is where the onus is on whoever has the power. And in heterosexual relationships, I think men, I urge you to know that you have the power no matter what it is. Like there is a power imbalance, and like check in. It doesn't have to always be with words, but check in. Make sure like
everything's good.
Because it is hard to speak up sometimes. And sometimes I don't speak up because I'm like, I hate to blame everything on being an artist and acting and all that. Like we're taught to push past the uncomfortable because there might be something there.
Yes.
So sometimes I don't know, am I uncomfortable because this is new, or am I uncomfortable because this is not okay for me?
Say it.
And so, back to my therapist, girl, if you out there, because you left me with some gems, I'll give you that.
She did. Yeah.
She once asked me a very powerful question. She said, when you touch yourself, do you ask for consent? And I said, sis, what? It's me and me. She said, no. Do you ask for consent? Do you ask yourself, your body, if you feel like being touched? I was like, hell no. It's time to sleep. I need to fall asleep. Because for me, it's like, honestly, it's like an endorphin, and it helps you sleep.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you're training yourself to not listen to your body.
Ooh, come on.
And you're training yourself to discount what your body is feeling because of what you need.
Well.
And that messed me up in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Of like, it's these things that we do with ourselves or whatever. It's like, if I'm not even speaking up for myself with myself, how am I expect to do it with an audience?
And it's small and it goes under the radar because I don't ask myself shit. There's times when I'm like, I don't even actually feel like doing this, but I've decided that I'm going to do it. So let's get it done. And it's like,
yeah. And with me, like, yeah. I was okay. There's been, like, it starts to emulate situations from your past that may have been traumatic.
Yeah.
And you're teaching your body that it's like, well,
That's
I
what
know.
it is.
Yeah, this is what it is, whether you like it or not, you know?
Yeah.
So.
That's so deep.
So ask yourself tonight.
Before you pull out that loop.
Before you pull out that loop.
And that flashlight.
Boy. Self.
They, them.
They, them.
Yes.
We Do we feel like being touched?
Yeah.
And I would say it cut down my me time significantly,
Okay.
which shows me that a lot of the time I didn't feel like it.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
Zeke will.
Well,
Zeke will sponsor us. Can you imagine our sponsor? Tired of masturbating to fall asleep. Drink some Zeke will.
and berry and aqua. I So I have a quick question that I've been thinking about this week. So when you're dating, how important is it for you to meet the friend group of the person that you're dating? And like, is there a timeline? Is there a timeline where you feel like that's ideal for you to meet them? And if you don't meet them, if your partner is not bringing up meeting the friends or not interested in meeting their friends or them meeting your friends, is that a red flag to you?
It's very important to meet friends. I think friends tell you a lot about who someone is. I have a follow-up question for you about this.
Okay.
But I think it's very important. Timeline, I don't expect to meet your friends in the first 3 months. I don't expect that. Because I think 3 months, you're still trying to figure out,
do I like you?
Do I like you? And I'm not. And maybe I want to date your friend, so don't introduce me.
Oh, okay, well.
Let me not be associated. Because if it doesn't work, I may be with your friend. I don't want, no, I'm kidding. I think it's important. And I think if someone doesn't want to introduce you to their friends, especially if you've been dating for a while, they don't actually see you as a real option. Because I think for me, if you haven't met, and I have friends all over, so it's a little bit harder. Like, I have friends in Uganda, across the country. But if you are in LA and I have not introduced you to New York after 3 months, I probably don't see you in my life for long. Or I probably am not in a space where I need York's opinion on you, which means I'm probably not in a space where I'm taking you seriously.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's important to me what y'all think about. You know what's sad? I don't think I've dated someone that y'all have liked.
You know what's funny is my other best friend has said a similar thing.
Yeah.
But
you liked my showman's man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, York was, let me tell you the greatest feeling. This man pulled up and York could not stop talking about his thighs. And it was then that I realized something that's important to me is for York to lust over my man. I need you to lust over my man. It's something I put on my list.
It was just the way that he, because we were at brunch.
Yeah, we were.
And we happened to run into this young man, and the way that he walked in and like sat down and pulled up that chair, and then just
he
sat
spread
and spread his, and the thighs was hidden, and he was just so confident. I said, "Hey, well."
Yeah, York said, "I see, sis.
I understand.
There
and I'm
is
with
a
it."
story about what happened after that brunch that I can only share in episode 35. Okay. Because when I tell you that is the sad,
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Friends.
Friends.
Go
ahead.
My follow-up question is, you meet the friends, you don't like the friends, not in just like, you don't like them for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's just like you just don't like their vibe. They're too loud.
Okay.
Or you meet the friends, and this has happened with me where I'm like, these guys are fuckboys. All of them. And how you talking about how you have like never seen them with the same woman.
Yeah, so why are you associated with it? Like, because birds of a feather
flock together. So my question is exactly that. Do you believe birds of a feather flock together?
Yes, in some aspects. Being loud, I can look over your loud friends. I'm just gonna be like, I won't be at the game night. But I think when you're talking about it, it's like all of your friends are fuck boys and got different niggas running around here and there. Then I'm like, it's more of a medium red flag. Like I'm not gonna act on just that, But it's information. I'm putting it in my back pocket, and if other things come up, then
What if they have a friend? Let's say, for instance, you're dating an African man
okay,
and you meet his African friends.
okay,
Yeah. And the African friends say something rude about African Americans. Because, let me tell y'all need to stop being rude to African Americans and vice versa. It's both ways.
It goes both
It
ways.
goes both ways. Because as someone who, like, jumps between, y'all be saying disrespectful shit to each other, and y'all need to realize, now I'm going into my spiel, that this is tribalism, okay? Like, in our home countries, we have tribalism. And you know who created tribalism? Colonizers,
on,
okay?
the whites.
So y'all need to see that. Africans and African Americans, stop that disrespectful shit.
Yeah.
Okay, back to, okay. So, your African man, Kwame, does not display any of these.
Right.
But the friends are saying disrespectful shit. In my situation, it's my man is not homophobic, but his friends are.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
For me, it's is he participating in it?
No, he's not. And he's like, actually, like, these people.
Okay. Then I think
But he doesn't call it out.
See.
Because I was just saying it to try to find an equivalent of homophobia, because that's something I encounter. It's like, you're not displaying homophobia, but your friends are. And I'm like, but you're not calling it out.
Right. Yeah, it's hard. But
Because it makes me feel, what do you do when I'm not here?
Exactly.
With your friends.
Exactly.
But it's also hard because if we're being honest, like, especially in male friendships, they're not always in sync with their beliefs and they're okay with it for some reason.
That's weird.
They're like, well, we connect on soccer and everything else, we just chill.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It may not actually be indicative of anything, but
Yeah.
Speaking of, I have a friend who I'm like, oh, don't you know any hot guys? He's like, my friends are trash. I'm like, so why do you hang out with trash men?
Yeah, but I guess he ain't sleeping with him or trying to marry him. So
I
it's,
guess.
high and by. You're playing soccer and going
Listen.
to, watch BET Uncut at night. BET Uncut? What the hell?
I know. Are we ready for the Instagrammers?
Yes.
Okay. What were our red flags again? It was
the salmon
and
and the I was gonna say butterfly. The red one, not the beetle. It's a beetle.
It's a
in the
ladybug.
family.
Ladybug.
There it is.
Ladybug.
There it is.
Ladybug.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a red flag? He was messy, and he cried when I gave him an ultimatum to become a cleaner human being.
What?
He's not picking up after himself. You say, hey, John, you mind maybe folding your clothes, not walking out of the shower without whatever, and he starts crying. Is that a red flag? See, these are the things that will play you because they're so...
Yeah.
They're so,
What hit me was the ultimatum.
Yeah. Oh, you think she's the red flag?
I in general, I feel like ultimatums are red flags.
Why?
Because I'm more of, okay, and this may be me, and this may not serve me. I may discover later on in my journey that this wasn't the right way. But for me, if we're having conversations about something, I understand having a conversation about being messy.
Yeah.
When it gets to a point where you have to give an ultimatum,
Yeah.
I'd rather leave than...
No, but with cleaning, it's not a character thing. So I can understand. It's like, I really want to be with you, but I can see that this thing is actually going to come in the way of us. And I'm just going to let you know that, for me, me, I cannot sleep if there's a dish in my sink.
Mm-hmm.
I hate seeing yesterday's problems when I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm to tell you, look, York, I've been loving it. The sex is great. The conversation is wonderful. I don't like to sleep when the dishes are not washed, or like I don't like to have to look after you, and I can just tell that this is going to be an issue. So
That's not an ultimatum, though.
no, the ultimatum is coming.
Okay.
So either you need to like figure that out and start becoming like a cleaner human being so I don't have to run up after you, or I'm going to have to say goodbye. That's the ultimatum.
Listen, I hear what you're saying, and I understand it on a macro level. For me, even hearing ultimatums makes me want to go.
Well, then I guess you got to go.
Because
You were willing to leave a good relationship because you couldn't clean up?
it's not it's the making me, for me, there's a difference between having a conversation and being like, you have to do this or I'm gonna be gone.
Okay. What if
feels-
we've had 2 conversations already? And I'm like, look, I brought it up to you. It's something I really feel strongly about.
To me, it's another conversation. I just don't believe in ultimatums. I don't think that it puts you in a good it doesn't put the relationship in a good situation for me to be like, it's either this or this. It's like, if that's something that you can't do, we either keep having communication about it, or one of us needs to leave. The second you're like, you either do what I say do, or I'm leaving. Me personally, I don't want to be in that type of relationship. So I'm probably going to take a step back, because if that thing is that important to you, and if I'm not doing it at the level that you need me to do it at, then we probably shouldn't be together. And that's okay.
Plot twist. York thinks you are a red flag, sis. I think
But
your
that's just
man
me.
is a red flag.
That's
So,
just me.
You know what? It is just you. I know someone falls in love so fast, and I get it, but she falls in love with everyone. Is that a red flag?
Yeah.
Well, now I know what you think about me. I've stopped that.
Yeah.
Have I? Yeah, I have. Yeah. I haven't fallen in love in a while with someone. York, who? Come on. You know what?
I didn't say anything.
You did.
I am here.
I'll find out in the car who you think I fell in love with. I did not. I have not. No.
No, you haven't. You haven't.
Yeah. I've been very, very
Yeah.
serious about not.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm willing to fall in love. So, green flag to end us off.
My green flag of the week is random thoughtfulness. Like,
What's your love language?
physical touch and quality time are tied at the top.
Yeah, random. Oh, I love a random thoughtfulness.
Yeah, like I heard this song and it made me think of you, or I heard this song that I've always loved, but somehow in the context of you, it hit a little different. You.
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
Love it.
I miss one of my exes because he used to send me such great songs.
Yeah.
And sometimes I want to hey big hit him for like, what new music do you got? Like, yeah.
Music should be a love language. I feel like
it should be.
It's so important.
I used to
me.
wake up to a song every day.
That is very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playlist ain't been the same since.
Yeah.
But you know,
it's rough.
life is anyway.
What's yours?
My green flag is a different one. It's conflict.
Oh.
I think when you haven't had conflict in a relationship, it's hard to see who someone is.
That's
and
true.
I think a major green flag is when we have like a space of conflict, and the way we navigate it makes me feel closer to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we navigate it doesn't change my mind on who I think you are.
Yeah.
And the way we navigate it is you're still holding me with respect and kindness.
Yeah.
And protecting me, and I am protecting you.
Yeah.
To me, it's a major green flag. In fact, that
Absolutely.
makes me feel like, oh, I can be in a relationship with you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Both in friendships and relationships. And work stuff, actually.
Yeah, I think across the
Yeah.
board.
In show and the school, they even give us a book called Uncomfortable Conversations.
Oh,
Yeah. Because you
Yeah.
need to know how to, someone's ability to have an uncomfortable conversation, I think will tell you
yeah.
if you can do the distance.
It's hard.
It's very hard.
It's like, I think sometimes when we have these conversations about these things, it's all like, yeah, and you're like, everybody
Yeah.
just needs to have the uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
Because like that shit in real life, when it comes up in the moment, it's not easy to do.
It's extremely hard.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. We are halfway through our first season. Can
Yeah.
y'all believe it?
Look at that. We didn't even know we was coming back for the second
Yeah,
one.
we didn't know.
Look at God.
And we've just told you getting 10. Okay? we like and subscribe.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
Share. Subscribe.
Ooh, and leave a review because it helps people to
Yes.
find us. And
Yeah, leave
apparently
a
we're
review.
getting good reviews.
Are we?
I heard we had like 10.
I don't be looking at comments because I'm scared they'll be like, why is that bitch talking? 'Cause she is a red flag.
I haven't looked at the YouTube
Yeah.
comments, but
You know, even when I drove for Lyft, I never used to read those comments.
yes, I remember. I did.
Yeah, York used to read them and be like, how dare they? Me, I never
Yeah.
read those comments. I'm sensitive about my shit.
Yeah, it's probably a better
Yeah,
way of
yeah,
living life.
yeah,
But
yeah.
here we are.
Anyway, but leave a review.
Yeah, a good one.
Preferably-
Listen, if you got something negative to say, keep
Just
it in your
don't,
heart and
you
keep
know?
it in the group chat.
Yeah, talk about us in the WhatsApp group chat.
Yeah, it's fine.
But if you have something great to say, just hit 5-star and be like, go, Kevin and York.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But like, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
We're not one of those people who are like, no, we want to hear the truth. We don't. Only if it's good, leave a review. If it's not good, go text your friends
Yeah,
about it. We
and it's
never have
fine.
to hear about it.
Yeah, it doesn't bother us at all.
That before we go,
Yeah,
this thing of like, I'm a truth teller,
nobody wants it.
nobody wants it.
Nobody needs it.
Nobody needs it. Don't be a mean person.
Yeah.
So think about that when you leave our 5-star review. We don't want anything less than 4. Keep it to
Anywho,
yourself.
we thank you for your listenership.
Goodbye.
Bye.